Good morning, and welcome to our June 2023 regular meeting of the Chesterfield County Council. It's 9 a.m., so we'll call this meeting to order. I will open with a prayer, and then we'll follow by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please pray with me. Lord, as we gather together this morning, let us always remember the holiday we recently observed, Memorial Day. We thank you for the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we may live in a free country. Let us always remember the sacrifice that your son Jesus made so that we could have eternal life. Please bless this county's employees, its citizens, and this council as we all try to make this county a better place to live, work, and play. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we adopt the agenda, I'd like to offer my congratulations to the Chesterfield High Lady Rams softball team for winning the state 2A championship. What a great accomplishment for these young ladies. And if I'm not badly mistaken, we have one council member who was part of the coaching staff, and we also have an administrator who has a granddaughter that played, and I'm sure that they're very, very proud of those young ladies also. And once again, we would like to congratulate them. That's really quite an accomplishment.
Mr. Chairman, they brought it back to the county, not just for Chesterfield. Therefore, I feel like they need a round of applause.
Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Ms. Burns, the second. Mr. Conklin, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next item, item 4, the approval of the minutes. If there are no corrections or deletions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our May 3rd, 2023 meeting.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Miller? Second. Mr. Smallwood, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. I think the bonds are being passed for signing. We'll move down to appointments. Mr. Merriman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to thank the CCC for allowing me to address the situation in my community this morning. I was here 6 months ago speaking to you all December of 2022. I'm here to speak about the situation in my community about the water, getting rural water in our community. Last time I was here, I ran down a timeline. I like to keep up a timeline because time is important. We wouldn't exist if it wasn't time for everything. So on February of 2/9/23 in the meeting, it was still asking for 70%, breaking the community into sections, needing a majority to agree in each road. Grant was passed from CC for Chesterfield County Rural Water. Spoke to Ms. Kim Etheridge, who was with the PD CAR Community Development Direction. Grant is for $1.8 million, I was told from her. Said it was for, then went to the meeting, and Chesterfield County Rural Water said it was for $750,000 to about $1 million. Need more forms turned in by 2/15. They gave us some forms to turn in for the community. I myself filled out some forms, and most of the majority of everybody else in the community filled out the forms. Nevertheless, 3/9/23, the meeting, update on water process on Hilliard Neville's Road. Nothing yet in stone, waiting on PD COG. Spoke to Ms. Kim Etheridge. We began with project, didn't have enough For the other roads, at the moment, and you know, she's talking about the other roads, we're talking about adjacent roads to Hillian Edwards Road at the moment. But we'll start project after last applications is processed. This is the application that everybody filled out. 420 meeting, stated they are waiting to hear from the Department of Commerce for PD Cobb. Spoke to Ms. Kim Etheridge, everything was a go on the Chesterfield County Rural Water. It's 421. I called Ms. Etheridge at 9:30. That was that Friday after the meeting on that Thursday. Didn't get an answer. 5:10, applied for, this is what Chesterfield County Rural Water said, they applied for a $500,000 grant. Waiting on an answer from PD Cobb. I'm confused at this moment about the amount in general. She was telling me it was 1.8. Get to the meeting, they say they applied for $750,000. Next thing you know, they say they applied for $500,000. I don't know what is it. I'm confused on the amount. I was told that they had a $10 million grant that was passed. This was a statement from Mr. Richie Yao. They had all of us to write a letter. Chesterfield County Rural Water also said that they was writing a letter in our behalf, and Mr. Richie Yao, they said that they asked him to write a letter in our behalf with the other people in the community who wrote letters on our behalf. He was told that it was a done deal, so he didn't understand. I had called him and asked him about it. He thought it was a done deal, thought everything was everything was a go. Okay, then he said that, like I said, that we wrote letters, and he wrote a letter a while back in our behalf, and this was a concern for me on why we was even writing these letters from the community. Okay, I spoke to Mr. Ruffner. He was not clear exactly on where we stood, but he thought that the grant was a go, and he also thought that it covered tap fees for the community, which makes sense to me. But we were told that the people would have to pay $1,200 to $1,250 each for tap. They had a meeting January 31st of 2023. We was at Pleasant Grove AME Zion Church, located on 2429 Pleasant Grove Road in Chiraw. The meeting was requiring 51% of the people committing to this water for the residents of the community. I inform you that the community showed up in droves. More participation we ever imagined. Everybody came. I mean, with me going out, myself and others, to house, door to door, asking people to come to this meeting. It was very important. And Chesterfield County Rural Water expressed that. It was important for all of us to come. Everybody, hey, we showed up in Groves. I mean, everybody was there. Okay, we get there, beginning of the meeting, said we needed 70%. These were letters that sent out telling everybody that you need 51% for everybody to commit. Everybody came. We was 51%, 60%, whatever it was, whatever they were requiring, we had it. But beginning of the meeting, now they say it's 70%. Once we got to that meeting, we had people who filled out forms telling their home occupancy. You had people that was filling out finances, statuses, all this stuff, which was low-income people. Most of them are out there are low-income people that's out there in that area. Whatever else they had to require for the community, we did so. Everything they asked. There has been less requirements, or if any, for other communities to receive water. This is one of the 3 essential needs of life: food, water, shelter. There are single parents who live in this area, in this community, who does not have water supply, a good clean water for the community. If I'm not mistaken, if the grants are available to pay for the cost to help these people in need, of your service, why not do so? We have come to the meetings every month religiously. For a year, we have been coming, representing this community about the water. We've been coming religiously. We have not missed a month for a solid year or more now, up to this date, which they have a meeting tomorrow. God's willing, I'll be there. We have to come to those meetings religiously, asking for your help. But setback after setback is all we have received. We are aware of other communities and new community developments receiving your services. Why not us? We have been a community for many odd years. Why are we not at the top of your list of criteria? We certainly have been asking possibly the longest. We don't feel as though you are being transparent with us as you could. No one is on the same page. One says this and the other says that. We feel that we are approaching the matter in the right way, speaking to whom we need to. Why are there no results? Is there some vendetta against this community of ours, or malice or strife? Help us to understand, because at this point we don't, and I can't comprehend why we don't have this done already. I didn't volunteer to be the spokesperson for this community because I'm simply I'm simply a victim of the situation. So I didn't volunteer to be the spokesperson. I'm feeling for the community. I'm a victim of it. I've gone through some situations with my well going dry. I thank God that I was able to pay to get it fixed, but there's other people in my situation that couldn't get that done, and they're going without water, and it's sad to say. We've done everything that we can to appease Chesterfield County Rural Water and talking to who we need to talk to about this situation, but there seems to be some kind of stall or stale or whatever the case may be. We can't understand why, but like I said, we can see other communities. I've been to Paisley community. There's new communities being built there daily. They're getting the services. This community has been out here for 30-something odd years without this water. So we've been coming for, like I said, religiously every month, asking for their help to put water, good clean water in this community. We can't get an answer, we can't get services or anything. We just don't know why. What is the problem? Like I said, I've been coming and I didn't volunteer for this position that I am in. I'm just simply a victim of the situation, and I want this done.
Mr. Merriman, I'll have to say you and your community have done a good job. Y'all have gone about this the right way. I think the answers are going to have to come from PD COG mainly, but Mr. Ruffner, do you have any?
No, I know we have our grants coordinator here this morning. Could we get clarification, will tap fees be eligible to be paid from the grant?
So I asked Kim yesterday, and she said that like the LMI, the residents for LMI, they should be able to get their tap fees covered. But she would have more clarity on that, and then the residents who are non-LMI will have to work, that will be between them and Chester Rural Water.
So I know that was one of the issues. I think the other issue, Mr. Merriman, and again, you know, and I know you understand this, but for edification to anybody else who doesn't, you know, this body is separate, even though it's Chesterfield County Rural Water, that's a separate entity from Chesterfield County. But what Chesterfield County Council has agreed to do is use one of our CDGB grants to facilitate this project. And we're committed to doing that. Staff is committed to doing that. We have run into some unexpected hurdles. I think one of those, in addition to the maybe the level of participation by residents, was there was some issues with the engineering that PD COG had some questions about. So that is one of the other issues that's got to get cleared up through PD COG. But, you know, I've talked to you several times, and as Mr. Butler said, you know, you and your community have approached this in the right way. I understand your frustration. I sympathize with you. But I can tell you that as far as this council and our staff, we're committed to doing what we need to do to help you and your community to make this happen. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of thing that this council controls all the moving parts, so to speak. But we're willing to do whatever we can to help with that process to make sure that those moving parts, what needs to happen happens. So, I mean, we make that commitment to you, and I've told you that several times myself when we've spoke, and we'll continue to do that.
And I just, want transparency because, I live in this community. I see the people every day. They're asking me, what's going on? Why haven't you did this? Why haven't you do that? I'm needing to answer these people. I go and I talk to these, and same thing over and over again. It's always an excuse. It's nothing positive about it. No, nothing they haven't heard before in some 30-odd years. The same old, same old. And we just want to get results and to get the clean water out there in the community. That's all we just want, just water. I mean, we ain't trying to take this to another level or whatever level that could possibly be taken. We just want water in the community. It's been some 30-odd years, just want water in the community. At this time of the year, summer, it gets rough. Water start really acting up. And like I say, I don't want to be in that situation again because I don't know financially if I'm going to be able to get that fixed next time. I've went weeks without the water until I got it fixed. And I don't know if any of y'all have been without water with your family or whatever, but it ain't a good feeling. Water you need, and you don't realize how bad you need it until you ain't got it. So I just asked that if we could just move on this swiftly, whoever need to speak to push this issue, and just let us get some water in this community. Thank you for your opportunity.
We thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Merriman.
Okay, we'll move down to item 7, public comments. Before we ask for public comments, while we welcome all comments, public comment should be limited to 4 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes per subject. Is there anyone that wishes to address council?
My name is Yvonne Birch, and I do live out on the Hilliard Edwards Community Road. And just sitting and listen, and I understand you all to say you are separate from, but when we went to our meeting, they pointed us to you all. Because when we went to a meeting, they said we need to contact our county council representative. Not only that, they told us we need to contact our representative that represent our community, which is Miss Pat Hennigan. So, I mean, yeah, we are a little confused as to which direction we should go, because we're going from here, we're going from there, and then we come back to you all, and we go back to them again. And, we just seem like we're just going round and round in circles. We've jumped every hurdle. We did everything that has been asked. They tell us that it's going to be a year, or it's going to be 2 years, but it's still, every time we meet one criteria, we have another one that we need to meet. So, we are a little confused. We say we have the grants, we say we don't have the grants. We go to the annual meetings that we have, and then, we listen, which is kind of disturbing because, and I know it's good, they give back to the community. But when you're handing out all the funding, their prizes, we sitting there and having to listen, or people to say, oh, we got this in from the rural water or whatever. So, I mean, we're just a little confused. We just don't understand, and in whichever direction we need to go, we just want to be pointed in the right direction.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to address council? Okay. Okay, sure.
But sometimes I'm out there on Horseshoe Acre Loop, and I just want to address that, yes, I know we do need water, and we've been trying for years and years and years, but when you have a business, I do therapeutic foster care, and I'm just passing by inch because trouble is going on. So I just pray and hope that y'all, try to figure out a way to take in consideration, because if you ain't got money, you can't do nothing, you can't pay no bills or nothing like that. But when you got foster care, you got children coming in and out, you gotta make sure everything's done right. So I'm just standing also for the community. As a matter of fact, we was asked a little something about yesterday. I couldn't give nobody no answer. Again, we just say thank you, and we just pray to hope y'all take it in consideration.
Thank you.
Mr. Butler, I know this is public comment and it's not normal for us to go back and forth, but I think it's only fair I think that they're expressing their confusion about what's going on, and I sympathize with your water situation. Rural Water, if they're pointing you in the direction of council on this issue, council has absolutely nothing to do with Rural Water. Even though it's named Chesterfield County Rural Water, that is a private entity that they're funding, that they have to run as a business. That is not associated with this council, this governing body at all. So those folks are the ones who make decisions on where they spend money to put infrastructure in on their system. We don't have any say-so at all about what roads they put water on or anything. The grant, the CDBG grant, was from the council decided, hey, we have this grant. Y'all have been asking as a community for a long time trying to get some help. So the council said, well, you know, we can let y'all use the CDBG grant to try to help with the situation. So if they're telling you to come to this council, they're not giving you good information, in my opinion. They are the sole ones who make those decisions. Now, if they can't meet the criteria, if the community doesn't meet the criteria for the low to moderate income and the requirements for the grant, then we have absolutely no control over that. So, but you need to go to Rural Water. A lot of people get it confused because of the name. The name is Chesterfield County Rural Water. We have absolutely nothing to do with Chesterfield County Rural Water. They are a private business. It's just like going to a nonprofit McDonald's, per se. So I think that's fair for us to explain that side of it. They can say, come to us all you want to, but we can't control the stipulations with the CDBG grant. And, you know, the council's allowed for that to work in y'all's favor. But other than that, we don't have any say-so at all. So if they tell you to come talk to us, you can flat out tell them, y'all running this as a private business, not the county. So I think that was I feel for you, but they're gonna have to accept the fact that this is their decision.
Okay. I'm sorry, but this is public comments, and we're not supposed to make comments. If you like to discuss it afterward, we'd be glad to discuss it after. We'd be glad to talk to any of you after it's over. But these are rules and regulations that this council has. Okay, now we're gonna move down to a public hearing on the road maintenance fee ordinance. I need a motion to open the public hearing. Mr. Curtis, second by Mr. Conklin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, the public hearing is now open for anyone to wish to address council on this ordinance. Anyone wish to address council on this ordinance?
Make a move to close.
Mr. Compton, I assume you're seconding? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Next item is 8B, public hearing on a $620,000 GO bond. Need a motion to open the hearing. Mr. Conklin, Ms. Anderson. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. The public hearing is now open. Anyone wishing to address council on this ordinance? No one addressing council. I'll assume that the same two will make the motion to, and the second to close the hearing. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Okay, we'll go down to item 9A, road maintenance fee ordinance, third reading. We did the first reading in April, second reading was in May, and this is the third and final reading. Is there a motion to approve the third reading?
So moved.
Ms. Burns and Mr. Conklin, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move down to item 9B, the $620,000 bond ordinance, third reading. We did the first reading in April, second reading was done in May, and this is the third reading. Is there a motion to approve the third reading? Mr. Conklin?
Second.
Ms. Anderson, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Move down to item 9C, High Point Fire Department ordinance. This is where we are talking about conveying some real property to the High Point Volunteer Fire Department. It's second reading. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Rivers, Mr. Smallwood. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 9D, second reading on the Cache Rural Fire Department GO bond ordinance. Is there a motion? I assume Ms. Burns? Mr. Conklin? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, carries. Okay, the standing committee reports none, items by council none, items by staff. Surplus property, public works, Ms. Stanley?
Yes, sir. This is some of the equipment that the Public Works has requested council to declare as surplus. So we're asking them to be removed from inventory. And this is some of the equipment that we will use for this year to help with the millage.
Okay. We need a motion to declare these items surplus. So moved. Mr. Conklin, Ms. Burns, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Surplus property, Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
Ms. Stanley.
Yes, sir. And this is some vehicles. As you can see, there's 2009 Dodge Chargers, and they've used all their useful life, and they will use this money along with the other that they've already surplus to help purchase that one last vehicle that they will want. And all this will go back into the capital equipment fund.
Okay. Need a motion to allow the Sheriff's Department to declare these vehicles surplus.
So moved.
Mr. Curtis, Mr. Smallwood, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Okay, next item is the bid award for 6 motor graders. Ms. Stanley?
Yes, sir. The invitation for bids were sent out for the 6 motor graders for Public Works, and we've got the bid tabs attached for you all to review, and it's a recommendation of staff that the bid be awarded to Blanchard.
Okay, do we need a motion to accept the recommendation of the bid that the staff has?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Miller, motion, second by Mr. Curtis. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
Gerald's gonna write the check.
Item 12D, bid award for 1 tractor. Ms. Stanley?
Yeah, and he saved him a little bit of money on this one because this is where we finance decided to do a tractor versus a motor grader. So, I've got the 4 bids, bids attached. And so with the recommendation of staff to award it to Quality Equipment.
Okay. Need a motion to accept this bid from Quality Equipment. Mr. Conklin? Mr. Miller? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Bid award for West Elizabeth Street. Ms. Stanley?
This is where CTC monies, they're going to pave the West Elizabeth Street, and we only received one bid, and it was from Fur Graydon, and it was in compliance and pretty much in alignment with what Vaughn and Melton had already pre-quoted. You know, they were a little bit higher, but it was still, but we found out on some of it that there was some of the material that they are only allowing, Tim May can help me on this, I can't remember exactly the equipment, the material, but they're only allowing DOT to use that material versus on dirt roads, they're only allowing that, so that's, is affecting some of our pricing right now. But it's our recommendation and from the, the engineering to award it to Fur Graydon.
Okay, and need a motion to award the bid to Fur Graydon and Paving. Mr. Conklin?
Second.
Ms. Anderson? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Bid award Rick Henry Road.
And this is, yes, sir, this is the other road that Vaughn and Melton is working on. It's Rick Henry Road, and it's pretty much the same thing that only Fur Graydon had bid on that. So it's our recommendation for you to award it to them.
Is there a motion to award this bid to Fur Graydon and Paving?
So moved.
Mr. Curtis, Mrs. Smallwood, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Local company too, and that's good.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 12A, the former Veterans Building, Mr. Eubanks.
Yes, a while back, the building committee discussed actually tearing down the old Veterans Office, which is located on the east side of the courthouse next to Sand Hill Telephone Business. Since then, after all the remodeling over at the courthouse, they've come to me and asking, they're out of places to store files and all. So I got to thinking, possibly they're asking to put these storage buildings in the parking lot, which I've been fighting for the last few years, trying to clean out to get rid of. 'Cause I'm not a fan of the storage buildings in the parking lot. So I thought that maybe we could use the old Veterans Office as storage for overflow on records for the courthouse. And so if y'all would allow me, let the building crew put a roof on it and clean it out and start storing records from the courthouse, is what I'm asking for.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the recommendation of the staff? Mr. Conklin? Mr. Rivers? Any discussion?
Is that structurally all that needs to be done to it?
Just roof and all, and it was a small building. They moved into the courthouse, so it was a better move for them. And really, I mean, I think it'd be great for storing files again.
Would look a lot better.
Look a lot like mini barns in the parking lot.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 12H, locate South Carolina grant award. Ms. Lear with the Economic Development Team is here, and I'll let her explain this.
Well, first, I want to take a minute and talk about my office. Pardon my voice, but I've had a cold. I was very concerned that Cherry McCoy was retiring. She is now going to be serving as external advisor to us, and as I introduced Lisa a month or two ago, she's been with us several months now. She's doing a fantastic job, but I thought there was no way to replace Connie Spencer, who has been our administrative person in the office and has just been a phenomenal employee. She retired last month, and we chose Courtney Hicks. Courtney, if you'll stand up. I know you all know Courtney because she worked in the admin building, but she's been with us. This is her 4th week now, and we have loved her from the first day. So I'm really relieved. I'm sleeping better at night now that I know that I've got 2 great girls on my staff. We're working well together. They're hard workers, they're smart, and they're trying to keep me organized, which is a task. So thank you, Courtney. we're happy to have you there. We want Alligator Industrial Park to become a Palmetto site. This is a designation that the South Carolina Department of Commerce has for sites that have already had the due diligence done. Due diligence includes a Phase 1 environmental study, jurisdictional wetlands delineation, cultural and endangered species studies, geotechnical study, boundary survey, and a master site plan. In order to pay for this, we applied to receive a Locate SC grant of $93,750. We were awarded the grant, so we're excited about that, but I'm here today to ask council to allow us to accept that grant. Some companies nowadays are moving very quickly with their site selection process. I don't know if you all remember the Scout Motors announcement a couple of months ago in Blythewood. It's about a $2 billion investment that they're bringing there. But the Secretary of Commerce told the facts that it was a 2-month decision. It only took 2 months for them to decide. From the time they looked at the site until the time they closed on the site was 2 months. And that was because all these other things had been done. So I'm just hoping that you all will let us accept that and get the due diligence done for Alligator.
Thank you. Need a motion to accept this grant?
So moved.
Ms. Anderson, Mr. Rivers, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Ms. Lear, thank you for you and your staff hard work to receive this. That's good work there. Okay, item 12I, PD Local Workforce Area Work System. It's a memorandum of understanding. Mr. Ruffin, can you address this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This acknowledges the various partner programs that PD-COG, which is our entity that handles SC Works for our region, acknowledges those partners that will be involved in workforce development, education, human resource programs that are designed to enhance access to SC Works services. It's a requirement of the law that the counties that are involved in that acknowledge those partner programs. This does not obligate the county to any financial obligation. So there's no cost to the county, simply an acknowledgement of those programs that will be providing these services.
Okay, thank you. Need a motion to allow me as your chairman to execute this memorandum of understanding associated with the workforce system agreement.
So moved.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 13, unfinished business, none. Item 14, new business, none. Board appointments. I would like to appoint Patrick Davis to serve as my representative on the Zoning of Appeals Board.
So moved.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. But while I'm at it, I'd also like to thank Mr. Pink Patrick for his years of service in this position. His health would just not allow him to continue, and I would all ask that you keep him in your prayers as he going forward. Item 16, the administrator, Mr. Eubank.
I have nothing at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, item 17, any council member have any comments?
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
Just so council members know, in case you haven't heard, PD-COG board, we decided or elected Joette Dukes to serve as our interim executive director for now. And you all know her through the workforce development. She's been here, and she's, you know, a strong member and has lots of experience. And she's just going to serve as the interim until Mr. Johnny Brown's position is filled. And we don't really have a time frame for that, but she's accepted that. And then there's a NISA networking opportunity next Wednesday night, and I'm sure all of you got invitations, but I just encourage you if you can. It's in Florence. It's at 6 o'clock, and if you need any more information on that, just let me know.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Got a comment, Mr. Chairman. And this is probably a question that needs to be answered best by Mr. Ruffner, but I was approached by one of the municipal towns here in the county as far as using some of the APR monies to match a grant with for fire services. And I'm not sure if that's an acceptable expenditure or not.
We'd have to get into detail on that.
Okay,
Michelle is our resident expert on APR.
okay. I'll get back in touch
details
with
on
you
that.
and put you in touch with that particular individual. Okay, that's all I have, sir.
Okay. Item number 18A, there is a need to go in executive session. Mr. Ruffner, will you address that?
Yes, sir. Thank you. That would be pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70, subsection A2. It would be for discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements, receipt of legal advice that relates to pending, threatened, or potential claim or other matters covered by attorney-client privilege, and that's regarding one-call agreement for emergency air medical services. And I would also note that council may take action on this matter after exiting executive session.
Thank you. Need a motion to go into executive session? Mr. Conklin? Ms.
Second.
Anderson?
Sure.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Before we go into executive session, we'll take a 10-minute break. regular session, and while we're in executive session, no motions were made and no votes were taken.
Do we need to let the public back in?
If there's anybody out there that wants to come back in,
I see somebody.
I didn't want to get started without a. I get accused of having a secret meeting.
that Almond Joe.
What you hunting, Mr.
If you push it, it'll eventually hook. I mean, or lock or whatever. You feel it, you can feel it snap.
Gotta get it just right.
Yeah.
Okay, we are now back in regular session. As I stated a minute ago, while we're in executive session, no motions were made, no votes were taken. Now, does anybody wish to comment on the situation of the helicopter?
I'd like to make a motion through the discussion of the one-call agreement thing. I make a motion that we allow staff to develop a RFP to send out on behalf of the one-call agreement.
Okay, thank you. You have a motion, is there a second? Second by Mr. Conklin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next we got is adjournment. Anybody wish to make a motion to adjourn? Mr. Burns? Second. Mr. Smallwood? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We are now adjourned.